What's going on, guys? So today I'm talking about two different Kubey neck knives. These are both recommendations by actually a few different people. This one more specifically, I think this is the KU166. I've been carrying it as a neck knife. It's not, I guess sold as a neck knife, but it does come with a belt clip. It's just like this, but I just took that off. And I've been interchanging this ball and chain between both. I definitely prefer this one. This is a 7.62 tag. It's a little bit more of a traditional, type knife shape. This is very new and different, which is kind of cool. I like that it stands out. It's not really a review of both of these knives. These are kind of just first impressions. I only carried them a couple days each. Didn't actually get to use them too much when I was actually carrying them. Most of the experience has been just cutting boxes here at home. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. I definitely prefer that one over this. This one sells for like 30 bucks. This is rocking a D2 blade. That one actually has an AUS 10 blade, which has been totally fine, totally adequate. However, that's a $50 knife. I really want to say that they should both be like 30 bucks. But anyway, taking the sheath off, you could see it's kind of unique design. Now, there is a little bit of a slight finger choil here, and then there's a deep finger choil there, and obviously there's a finger hole up front. So naturally, when I got this knife, the first thing I did was put my finger through the hole, and it feels okay. It feels pretty comfortable, although my ring finger does not land in that finger choil. Okay, it actually sits up. If I do a natural grip here and slowly open, you can see how my fingers are on that handle. So it's not actually making any contact at all with that finger choil. And my pinky, you can see this lanyard hole on the bottom sticks up, and my pinky rests against it. It's not the most comfortable thing in the world, but it's not the end of the world either. Pretty interesting, just short throw, little blade, just total, complete straight edge on here. As far as around the house, ripping open boxes, it worked fine. It wasn't uncomfortable at all. But I did find that if I don't use the finger hole and I choke down on it, that's when my finger actually wraps in there. And it's really comfortable. It's nice. There's jimping that goes all the way down towards the bottom here. So holding like this seems to be more comfortable overall, but also seems a little bit unnatural because it's a finger hole. You just want to use that. You want to choke up on it, right? But yeah, I mean, it's just something worth mentioning, I guess. It looks funky. It fits my hand okay, but again, I kind of wish this lanyard hole wasn't here at all, and this was just a smooth transition. I think overall it would have been more comfortable that way. But generally speaking, I mean, when I'm grabbing this knife, a lot of times using any knife, not just this one, but instead of having like a normal grip like this cutting, sometimes it's way more comfortable to actually hold it sideways, okay? So I have like, I don't know what kind of grip this is, but I do this a lot with different types of knives where I'll try it how it's supposed to be held. But I don't know, just with the angle of cutting or whatever I happen to be cutting, sometimes it's the simplicity of when I pull it out, I just grab it like that and just go to town. Just whatever cut I need to do, make real quick, instead of getting into like this specific grip like it's supposed to be used. So I mean, yeah, the only uncomfortable part was this little lanyard hole tang that just kind of poking out there. It just would push against the pinky when pressing a little bit harder into cardboard. But overall, not too bad. I mean, it's totally different. I mean, that's, I think, why people would be interested in this knife, because it's completely different design, kind of funky, and I know a lot of people like that. Of course, any knife that has a hole in the blade is the most secure design. Doesn't matter how grippy your handle is, doesn't matter how many finger choils you have, or the angle. When your finger goes through the knife, there's no way for you to accidentally drop this or something. So people who are considering these to be like self-defense options, yeah, of course, it's going to be light years better as far as retaining that than pretty much any other handle. So that's why some people like the hole through the blade for the grip. You have to literally break your finger to break this grip. Okay, even if you happen to open your hand for some reason, it's probably not going to go flying across the room. It's probably going to stay in your hand. What is nice about this, although you generally don't do this, but if you have a hole in your blade, you could hold it in such a sense, like let's say you're on a ladder and you take your knife out and you're cutting something, but now you need to actually grab something on the on the ladder. You can swing your hands around and still actually have some kind of a grip, while still retaining that knife. Generally, you'd probably just put it right back in the sheath, but just in case, I mean, some pointers to point out, worth talking about. So yeah, I mean, on the belt, I don't really carry or have a specific need or interest in smaller knives like this on the belt. I tend to just throw these on the neck. These to me become neck knives, but there's a lot of guys and gals out there that do like to belt carry a smaller knife. So switching over to the 7.62 tag, I can only assume the 7.62 is a reference to the AK round. Don't know what the tag refers to though. These are numbered. If I zoom in here. All right, I saw an example online that had number 3 on it. This one's number 51. I don't know how many there are. And then of course there's where it says 7.62 tag. As I take this out, look at the other markings since I'm in close here. We have a little interesting design logo there. And then of course AUS 10. Now the AUS 10 actually performs quite well for what it is. I mean, again, this has a $50 price tag. I'd probably like to see some other steel options for that price tag, but overall, I like the knife, so I don't have too many complaints on that. It just kind of is what it is. But you can see the Kuby logo on the back, blade style, very, very simple. Really like it. It is single edge, is not, the swedge here is not sharpened at all. Okay, but having that nice cutout does help a little bit in penetration if you're digging into boxes and stuff. It's just a more traditional type knife. Nothing super special. There's a million different skeletonized blades on the market, and I enjoyed a lot of them. This is just another option. That's all it is. Just another option to look forward to. I think it's pretty universally comfortable depending on the size of your hand. This does have more of a cutting edge than, of course, the other model there. And I just think more people would gravitate towards this than that model. But yeah, I mean, they both kind of worked out fine for the short periods of time that I carried them. They're both comfortable around the neck. Even though this one's lighter, it is a lot longer. Something to consider, between the two. But yeah, I don't know, just lately I've tried a lot of different Kuby stuff. I got those pens and, I had one of the Kuby folders, which was a little bit cheaper. Just kind of been focusing on the brand a lot lately and just been checking these out. In fact, I have another folder that's like a wood and faux Damascus. It's a VG10 core, which is pretty cool. Maybe I'll do a video on that in the future, but I want to kind of use that knife a lot before I actually do a review. This is more of a first impressions. But did want to mention these. I mean, people are always asking for more budget-friendly type stuff, and Kuby as a brand is, again, totally budget-friendly. They're more affordable. A lot of their different offerings for folders and obviously fixed blades like this. But yeah, I mean, this one was intended to be a little belt knife, which some people might appreciate like that. But for me, the smaller fixed blades do end up on my neck, always. It's kind of rare that I carry a fixed blade on the hip, but when I do, I usually go big. It's usually in some kind of outdoor setting, if I'm hanging around in the woods, playing around, doing some chopping or something, if I'm making a fire, any kind of camp scenario. Obviously, I'd like a large fixed blade as well. But just most times, if I have a fixed blade, it's dangling from my neck. I love my neck knives. And in fact, I have another neck knife. Well, I should say I have a belt knife that I turned into a neck knife, which you'll see in the future as well, from Reeve, which is pretty interesting. But anyway, that is it for now. Just want to do a quick video on these Kubey knives, possible neck knife options, in case you're in the market for something a little bit more affordable. So that's all. Hopefully you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you tomorrow with a brand new video. Take care.